the question is university worthwhile? What do people think about that?
Well, I tend to agree, and maybe if we could just paint a little more of the picture as well. So I come from a STEM background, science type of background, so that's the lens through which I see university. But I think you can ask the question at the level of the individual, and you can ask it at the level of society. So if you go back several hundred years, or 1,000 years even, you could develop theories of the universe, and the quality of those theories depended on how long you thought and how sharp your pencil was. As things became more complex and more intricate, and in order to pass learning from one generation to another, collectives are needed. First of all, so that you can, as I say, perpetuate what you already know and build on that, because these are hierarchical types of disciplines. And secondly, because not everybody can any longer be a master of all of them. When you look at the big scientific projects today, they involve a massive collaboration where no one person knows what how to solve the whole problem. And those collaborations are what give us the technology we have, the capabilities we have. So if we add into this a value, and let's say a human value, let's say that value is the economic progress of society, I think university is not just a good thing, it's actually the essential machinery to deliver it.
Yeah. Are there other elements of university that are important?
Well, I think depending on what it is that you want to study and what it is that what you want to become. For example, if you want to be a doctor, there is no way of becoming a doctor unless you have a degree from the university. Or it's not just the doctors. I guess with science, it might be slightly different. Maybe if someone is super experimental and creative and knowledgeable, you probably can become a great scientist without university, which is probably very unlikely, but still. But with art, for example, I think these days not that many people realize that to be an artist you also need the university degree to be an artist who has learned all the skills necessary to become an artist. And at the same time, there are so many talented and creative people who are doing art without their university degrees, and they are successful and they are good. Unlike it was probably, I don't know, a few hundred years ago, where, like you said, everything. Then I think you wouldn't be an artist unless you had a mentor who was an artist. You wouldn't be a mathematician unless you had a mentor. You wouldn't be a blacksmith unless you were mentored by a blacksmith. And I think today there are very different categories of different professions where people don't feel that university degrees as necessary for some as for the others.
So can I just add, so for example, from my personal experience, going to university has been a groundbreaking for me and has opened many doors. Has opened the doors that I didn't think would be the doors for me. Because it also not just gave me a new perspective, but it also changed perspective, how I view myself and how I view my opportunities in life. So in terms of teaching, when I went into this degree, I didn't entertain teaching in higher education. I entertained teaching in general circles and teaching maybe children and adults. But when you meet those people, when Sally meets
John.
John, yes. When Sally meets John and John meets Sally, this exchange of minds and exchange of experiences with people that think alike or have similar ambitions or similar drive really can help you to refine, let's say, add a different lens, a different focus in your camera. It's like changing a lens on your camera and putting a long range lens on your camera, and maybe even a wide range lens on your camera, because you can see not just what you could have done when you started the degree, but when you, at the end of that journey, not at the end, going through this journey, because I don't think that university degree ends in the 3rd year or 4th year or your degree. It actually continues, because of what it does, it puts you into action, and action, as Picasso said, is a premises for success. And it continues, it kind of like oils those cogs, yes, and it continues and makes it spin, and you don't want to stop, because if you think, right, I have educated myself this far and I found this channel into this area of, let's say, teaching, but why don't I challenge myself and maybe deviate a little bit or take a different route to find new angles of my development? And I suppose with art it could be similar. You could come to your degree with certain expectations, certain desires, certain ideas, and then through this journey, and maybe let's say in the middle of this journey when cogs are changing, you're adding new cogs to this machine. Your machine, you are changing as an artist, and your machine is changing. So the time might be changing on the clock, where you think it's not the time to stop, it's the time to carry on. And maybe expand your universe of art, expand your universe of science, expand your universe of teaching, or kind of developing as a person. So I personally think when you go to university, it's not just finding the job that you want to do, hopefully, depending on what kind of degree you choose, but finding yourself, finding your personality, exposing yourself to that big, open universe. As Hawkins said, it's not contracting, it's expanding. So the universe is going in all sorts of different directions, and you're finding kind of different galaxies within this universe of university.